Welcome back to another Pick Me Up here at the Daily Lift. And today is the Lord's Day. And on most Lord's Days, I am standing before the congregation during Bible study, before our worship service, and I am leading our class. And today is no different. And a lot of times, I have to be honest with you, a lot of times when I stand up and I do public speaking, especially in front of a large crowd, I perspire. And sometimes I perspire a lot, especially as the days are getting warmer. And sometimes I stink. And it's good to be aware of this, and I thank my wife for helping me be aware of this sometimes. But smells can be very off-putting, and you can ask my wife about that. Or they can be very soothing and pleasant to our senses. And this reminds me of a story that I recently came across, and something that I often overlook. And it's found in John 12, where this is a few days, just 6 days before Jesus will be preparing for the Passover and then arrested and crucified just shortly hours after. And Jesus is spending time with Mary and Martha and Lazarus and his disciples at Mary's house, Martha's house. And here at this specific time, Mary has a pound of very costly spikenard, and she anoints the feet of Jesus. And in John 12, verse 3, Mary took a pound of very costly oil of spikenard, anointed the feet of Jesus, and wiped his feet with her hair. And the house was filled with the fragrance of this oil. And I want to zero in on a frequently overlooked part of the story. At the very end of this passage here in verse 3, it says the house was filled with the fragrance of the oil. And now commentator J.W. McGarvey says this about this passage. He says the liberality of Mary contributed to the pleasure of all the guests. The odor of a good deed is generally diffusive. So in other words, just like the fragrance of the oil that was poured onto Jesus's feet presented this pleasant smell, just like if we would use essential oils in a diffuser today, good deeds are also very agreeable, and many times for all those who are around. Imagine all the times that you are watching a feel-good story of somebody doing good and how it almost brings tears to our eyes. Sometimes it does. And one of the earliest memories that I have of my now wife of 14 years, and it was when she, at a young age, I believe she was 15 or 16 when she did this, but she grew out her hair to cut it, to donate it. And this had a very profound impact on me. It affected me greatly. And from that point on, I wasn't just aware of this one good deed that she did. It told me so much about her character, about the things that were important to her. And it really motivated me to do the same. And it changed my perspective so that I started to seek out good deeds. And this also reminds me of the passage that Paul says in 2 Corinthians chapter 2. He tells us, thanks be to God who always leads us in triumph in Christ, and through us diffuses the fragrance of his knowledge in every place. For we are to God the fragrance of Christ among those who are being saved and among those who are perishing. To the one, we are the aroma of death leading to death, and to the other, the aroma of life leading to life. And so I want to ask you this question today. How do you smell? How do you smell to God? How do you smell to others around you? Are your good deeds and good works a breath of fresh air for all those who are around you? Or do your actions and lifestyles offer a sickly or deathly smell? If you are stinky, if you are smelly, Jesus can offer you a cleansing solution. We can be washed and cleaned by the power of Jesus' blood. If you want to know more how you can do that, reach out to us today. If you just need a pick-me-up, remember how you smell affects others around you. Make sure you are keeping yourself smelling good. Until next time, my friends.